500. And we have our section rules. So once you are joining the meeting, join early and keep your mic muted. Unlike some people that just joined the section and they were distracting us, always mute your mic because you distract the mentor. And post your questions in the question and answer chat panel. Then you can turn on your camera during the networking section. Be respectful, inclusive, professional, and ensure you complete your hands-on lab and do your assignment. And if you are in this call and you're not following us on our social media platform, kindly follow us on our social media platform. We have our LinkedIn page, we have our Twitter page, we have Instagram, and we also have Meetup page. So kindly follow us up on these platforms. So let me introduce our speaker. Our speaker for today. Our speaker for today is no other person than Oluwatosin Ajala. Oluwatosin Ajala is an Azure IAM expert. Like, if you're looking for somebody that is very good and very like a seasoned expert in Azure IAM and Azure generally, Oluwatosin Ajala is your go-to person and is our mentor for today. He's an Azure Identity and Access Management engineer and a subject matter expert at Tech Knowledge with 6+ years of experience in crafting IAM solutions across hybrid environments, spanning Entra ID, PIM, MFA, and role-based access control. That's who we have here. So I just want us to get ready. We are starting the section soon. Thank you. Grab your paper and make sure you are ready for today's section. So I will be handing over to the speaker for today. Thank you very much. You have the floor. Okay, if you are speaking, your mic is muted.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Oluwatosin Ajala. Thank you, the moderator. I will be looking at what they call it, Secure Azure Key Vault with defense in depth for cloud and AI workload. So I'll be sharing my screen. So let me introduce myself. I think the moderator has done enough. Yes, I started as an engineer. Sorry, let me share my screen. I started as an engineer, then became a technical lead, before becoming an SME in identity access management. You know, like I always tell people, everything starts with identity and ends with identity. Without identity, you can't do anything. If you want to log into anything, you need an identity. As you are joining this meeting, you are logging in with an identity. So identity is like the king of the Azure itself. So I'm walking through Azure Key Vault and defense in depth about Azure Key Vault itself, how to secure it. Then we also do a lab. So can you all see my screen? Hello, can you all see my screen?
Yeah, yes, we can see your screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So we are using Microsoft Learn. So at least we can go through it. We have 4 modules inside it. It will take you 67 minutes to capture it. And these are the credits you get. So the topic is for intermediate level because there are some things you might need to know. So we believe that you have probably already studied it. But along the way, I will probably touch one of them. Then we have 7 agenda. The first one, the AI security problem and the risk model. So the scenario, what is happening currently. Then we'll look at the keywords, the secret, the keys, and the certificates. Then we'll talk about the RBAC and access policy. Then manage identity, secret access flow, which is very important. Then network controls, sub-deletes, and purge protection. Then the last part is Defender for Azure keywords. So how to enable it, then we pick up a lab to probably demonstrate. I just pray that the 2 hours is enough to capture all what we want to do today. So let me start. Before we begin, I believe you are familiar with fundamentals of Entra ID, RBAC, security fundamentals, security controls, then cloud networking, because networking is also one of the critical components of Azure Key Vault. So you need to know networking. Then portal navigation, you'll be able to navigate your portal across how to navigate. So basically, we'll be looking at Azure portal, not Entra ID portal. There are two different portals. There is Entra ID portal and there is normal Azure portal. So we have the 4 modules. Please, whenever we have time, we should take a look at it because they are very in-depth and they talk extensively. The first one is configure and secure Azure Key Vault, how to configure it and secure it. The second one is manage keys and secrets in your Key Vault. The third one, the certificate and how to monitor it. Then that is Azure Monitor, because we'll be talking about audit logging. And the last part is your Defender for Cloud. So how do you protect your Key Vault with it? So the first agenda on the table, let's talk about what really went wrong. How are you getting it? With what we notice. And this has been a pattern with developers. Key Vault is you cannot run away from some coding, no matter how you look at it. You can't run away from some coding because developers use Key Vault a lot. I getting it. So I'm asking a question, why app configuration is the wrong place for secrets? Because we notice that some developers inside our scripts, they have this secret embedded in it, which is a common thing. And which is not good for the system, because once I have access to your app configuration or app config, I can extract the secret and use it. And these are the common acting pattern that we can see in it. API keys and token app settings, credentials copied into, in fact, what do you call it? IAC templates, e.g. like Terraform or your AI template, then long-lived secrets share across services. So there are some environments that they leave secrets for as long as 2 years, which is not the best. I get it. Some engineers will just create a secret. Normally, you are supposed to change it every 6 months. Every 6 months. So you just create a secret and leave it permanently for a particular application. Then also, there's nothing like rotation ownership. Who is responsible for it? You are supposed to rotate your key. Highlighting it once in a while. Don't just leave it like that. And what is Azure bringing to the platform? That is the recommended security engineer pattern. Store secrets in Azure Key Vault. You are meant to store your secrets in Azure Key Vault. You are meant to use RBAC, and there's what we call MSI, or you call it managed identities. Either way, either you use system assign or user assign. Then you have to rotate and version secrets centrally, either every 6 months or 3 months, depending on the company policy. Then also you have to monitor and malicious access defender. That is, in case of attack coming in, you have to enable Defender for Cloud on your keyboards so that to monitor the network, the secret itself, whoever is accessing it, the privilege. And the bottom line is Key Vault, RBAC, managed identities. They are the one that replace the hard-coded secrets everywhere in the stack. That is in your Key Vault. So let's move further. So when we're talking about the AI workload secret exposure, because now we are in the era of AI, whether we like it or not. And developers are making of it to develop the application. And they are exposing the secrets. That is just it. That is how a single exposed secret escalates into full workload compromise. So they store the secrets in the config, that is in the configuration application. So the key appears in the app settings of the code itself, which is dangerous, which leads to credential discovered. That is, whoever have access to that configuration. The attacker will find it either from the repo, that is from the DevOps, or from the logs, or from memory dumps. It gives them access. And if I have access to your secrets in your code, I can extract it and probably use to harm you or go against the company policy. Then also, which also leads to privilege reuse. Secret grant access to the key vault's data stores or API. That is, they reuse the privilege instead of them to like always have what they call JIT or PIM. So they make use of it, and at the end of the day, it turns to data exfiltration and unauthorized workload execution. That is, at the end of the day, it gets compromised. And with this, the developer is in a problem. Everybody is running Netaskater, and before you know it, the operation will go down, or probably is not functioning as expected, and they get into trouble. Now they put the IT security engineer or class security engineer into problem, start investigating it. For a developer or people that develop codes, they don't mind. They don't follow all these principles, but it is you as a security engineer that needs to ensure these are in line to safeguard the environment. Why? Because developers or whoever is using the secret to authenticate, they don't want to go through the normal procedure. No matter what, all they want to do is let me run my code, let it deliver the results, and let me sign up the project. But you need to stand your ground to ensure that all these checks they are in place. Because at the end of the day, if the workload is being compromised, they will come for you also. Because they will tell you, okay, what are the recommendations that you provided? And at that point, you like start the investigation. And when you're investigating, you need to do a report, write report, what went wrong, and you come and explain yourself, which most of us don't want to go through that process because sometimes it leads to query or what went wrong, come and explain, start writing email up and down. Why, when, how did it happen? Now, from the keyword itself, there are three important things in keywords. There are three in number: the secrets, the keys, and the certificates. The secret contains your password. It can be alphanumeric from the keyword perspective. That is, they are the object types and the security use of those types that we have under keywords. The password, the connection strings for your application, either app service, anyone, your API keys. So they are being used by application automation at runtime. People that automate a lot. We have automation accounts. So in case of you writing a code, you can do that from automation account to run either to give you what you call it, and depending on the task you want it to achieve. And we also have the keys. We have the cryptographic keys to encrypt and decrypt and sign. So which use for key lifecycle, rotation, and crypto operations, getting for your keys. And the last part is certificates. Most of the time is always your website, your application, getting it. So your certificates can come from for Azure Key Vault, they have two trusted parties, the global sign and what do you call it? And DigiSat. These are the two trusted partner of Key Vault when it comes to certificates, the global sign and DigiSat. And you need to have an account with them, which is different from Microsoft. So you need to have an account with these two partners because they are the authorized partner for certificates in Key Vault, where you have an account and you generate a Key Vault from them, which is being signed. But in case you don't have, well, there is non-partner option, where you need to import your Key Vault, your certificate with a private key, which must come with a private key. So the X.509 certificate, which is the version, and the lifecycle renewal. So your certificate, is it 6 months? Is it 1 year? Is it 2 years? Depending on the, what they call it, on the policy. Like Azure, I think Azure implements every 6 months to renew their certificates. So basically, it's used for your TLS. Your TLS is for also security and workload trust boundaries. Because if your application is not secure, it opens up your environment. So anything you are doing in that particular environment, you are being exposed. And every data can be extracted from your environment or from your PC itself. Because, when a certificate has expired and you try to log into that application, it will tell you, it will give you a warning. Then tell you to click on advance. Now, a lot of people click on advance, they don't know the implication. And something might just go wrong on your system. You will now be wondering, I didn't go to this, but you went to unprotected environment or website and you are in danger already. So you now need to now start checking the loophole itself. On the keywords itself, we are still talking about keywords. We have two planes or two planes, yeah. Two authorization model. Authorization model, we have two planes. We have the control plane, we have the data plane. They are not the same. Authorization for the control panel talks about the keyword contributor owner, which is more of like owner. But what can they do? They can only create, delete, configure, create and delete vault, configure network firewall, assign Azure policy, then view the vault metadata. That is control panel, which is different from the data panel. Data plane is the content of the vault itself, the content that reside in the vault. So they are not the same. That you have access to control panel does not mean that you have access to data plane. And this happens a lot because we get customer like, oh, I have contributor role. Why don't I have access to the data plane? Then need to start investigation. They don't know all this. So now you can see that Microsoft Entra ID needs to validate the identity. The same process for both planes. It needs to check their permission. So the control panel talks about creation, deletion of the vaults, configure the network and firewall, the Azure policy itself, then to view the vault metadata. But the content, that is the read and write operation of your keys, secret certificates, lies with your data plane. And that's why I said access here does not normally grant data plane access. These are independent authorization decisions. Why access here does not normally grant control plane access. These are independent authorization decisions. So it doesn't work that way. And we have seen cases, someone will tell, I have an arrow on the or at the subscription level. Why am I not able to access data plane? It doesn't work that way. You need to be assigned a role on the keyboard itself to be able to have access to it. Any question? Hello.
Okay, we have Ozima's hand up now. Ozima,
Okay.
please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm lost. I must be frank. I didn't follow through the point before where we are now. So that is my confusion.
Okay.
Did you miss?
All right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to ask if you missed last session.
No. I was part of the last session. I mean, when he started, I joined late because of the network issue. So
okay.
I lost the beginning of the explanation. But this place where we are now, I just picked one or two things. But I need to connect with what had happened before I met you people at this point.
Okay, Mr. Ajala, please, over to you.
Okay. We are talking about keywords because the topic is secure Azure keywords and different in-depth. How you getting it? That is, different in-depth talks about multi-layer of security control. How you getting it? Since your keyword contains secret, keys, and certificate, then how do you secure it? Are you getting it? So right now, we're only talking about the keyword itself and all the content that makes a keyword itself. Are you getting it? So that's what we are just doing now. You made mention of platform to get started. Please, can you repeat that? Okay. We have what they call DigiSat. Are you getting it? And Global Sign. DigiSat. And because those are the two authorized for Microsoft. Are you getting it? They are the two partners of Keyboard when it comes to certificates. Can you bring a third-party certificate to the keyboard? Yes, you can. But you need to bring it. You need to export a private key with it. which most customers fail to bring along when they are coming. Are you getting it? But if you use the what they call the authorized partner of Key Vault, it makes work easier. Are you getting it? Because there are some processes which is not known to Azure that needs to be completed from their own end. When you are creating your what they call creating your certificate, there are some information they will ask you. Are you getting? Once the certificate is done, which they will show you on their own platform, not on Azure. Please take note. On their own platform. So that which simply means that you need to have an account with these two bodies. Either you use DigiSat or Global Sign. So, but most customers prefer DigiSat because of customer services. Are you getting it? Based on project that we are working on. So most customers prefer to work on it because they are very, in terms of response, they are very fast. So they walk you through the process. Once they are done, they can now bring that particular certificate to Azure. So I think I've answered that question here. Any other question? Well, okay, let's proceed. Okay. Now, access control of the Key Vault itself. We have the RBAC instead of legacy access policy. Recently, Microsoft sent an email to all customers that are using access policy because this is common a lot. The Vault access policy is common a lot because there are some permission you can give, like read, encrypt, decrypt, how I getting it, remove, delete, list. That's what it contains in your Vault access policy. But recently, based on feedback and security checks from Microsoft are giving all customers till next year to migrate to Azure RBAC so that they can track how getting it. You can see best for any environment adopting a unified zero trust model. So Microsoft is trying to tell customers to migrate to RBAC where you control the vaults. The vault access policy is a legacy. How getting it? It's a legacy that we used before because you can limit the permission you want to give to a particular identity. Either it can be a user, it can be an application, it can be an MSI, depending on any one of them. How getting it? I can decide to say, okay, I want to give this user a list alone, just to list. I can decide I want to give this user just to view or to read. But there are security concerns to it because why? There is high risk of policy drift, separate permission model per vault. I get it. So Microsoft has encouraged everyone or enforce it on all users that they should migrate to Azure RBAC to be able to have unified authorization model across Azure, role assignment and auditable because of auditing, so that they can be able to have visibility what is happening. Because for every event that is happening on your resource, you can go to your activity logs to check what is happening as far as 90 days. As far as 90 days. I get it, that which is 3 months. So for activity logs, you can track what happened, what went wrong for 90 days. So that is what we are looking at. So during our labs, we'll be looking at the RBAC alone. We will not go for vault access policy because it is outdated and Microsoft does not encourage any environment to use it anymore. Okay, now I'll be mentioning manager identity. We use a lot of environment use manager identity a lot. We call it, technical people call it MSI. I getting it. But the people there, they call it manager identity. And we have different types, but I will just explain the flow, how it's being used, because most of the time it's being used to fetch a secret from a Key Vault to able to grant access based on whatever access you are giving to it. So looking at this, what we have on the screen, like a managed identity will request for a token. You can use a command. The managed identity can be on the virtual machine. It can be on app service. It can be on application. Are you getting it? While in some environment, they can be they will prefer to use an application. Everybody has a choice. But the difference is this. Managed identity is for Azure resources. It stays within Azure. It does not go out. But for an application, it can go outside because it can be able to use for automation. Targeting. It can go outside of Azure to be able to communicate because it's an application. I can probably put a public IP address to redirect it and able to perform some tasks. But my identity is inside Azure. How I get in it. So I can write a script to request a token, then it will authenticate. Entra ID will validate it. So for every managed identity you create, there will be an what do you call it? It will be created as an application at enterprise application level. You will see it as an application, but it is owned and managed by Microsoft. So the Entra ID verify the identity before you issue a token. Then it will make a call to the Key Vault. The app present the token as a bearer, or they call it authorization. Then the fourth part there is authorize and return. That is, it should return whatever is being making a call to. So if I give an MSI an hardback rule to fetch a token, that is how to fetch a token to fetch a secret from Key Vault based on the hardback code I've assigned. So by the time I run that script, I should be able to get a return from it. And this talks about the zero hard-coded credentials in code or config. Token auto-rotates every 24 hours. Yes, every token rotates every 24 hours, but no manual rotation. You can't trigger it manually because it's a managed identity. So every access is logged and auditable. That is, by the time it's making a call, there is a log for it. So the managed identity can be on a virtual machine, it can be on the app service, it can be from a function app, it can be or a logic app, depending on what you want to use it for. So let's talk about the managed identity because I've mentioned managed identity. So we have two types, the system assigned and the user assigned. They are not the same, but they are under managed identity. System assigned is one identity, one resource. That is, it is attached to that particular resource and it cannot be shared. That's one thing my system assigned. So immediately you delete the application, the system assigned is also being deleted. So the life cycle depends on the application. But for user assigned, it is one identity to many resources. It can stand on its own because you created it. That's why I call user assigned, that you control it. You control it by yourself. So you create it, so you can leave it without doing anything in your tenant, which falls under your resource. And you can also use it across many different resources. So if you did the application, it still remains. Are you getting it? It still remains. That's the difference between system assigned and user assigned. Can you use both of them? Yes, you can use both of them. Nothing stops you. Can both of them all coexist? Yes, they can, but it's your choice. But I will just say it depends on each environment. Are you getting it? It depends on each environment because I've seen system assigned and user assigned only for one particular application. They design environment. That is what they want. But at the same time, what I can advise is system assigned, fine, is more reliable. It's just that whatever happens to the application will affect system assigned. If the application is being mistakenly deleted, the system assigned is also deleted. That is the implication. But user assigned, you can share it across board on other resources. So it's not tied to life cycle of the application. So that's one good thing about user assigned. However, there are some resources will require that you do system assigned, that you need to put it on before you can proceed. That's just the managed identity, which we'll still look at it by the time we get to the practical class. So the data protection on your Key Vault, you might be wondering, like, Key Vault is also big like this. Yes, because it's part of Zero Trust and it's very important to your environment. We have some security controls like network and data protection controls, the firewall and network access. Number one, for the firewall, you can do allow trusted network only. You can use private endpoints because of sensitive workload, and you can also treat public network access and explicit exception. When it comes to public network access, in some environment, it is disabled by default using Azure policy. Because why? They don't want to expose their environment to the internet. So there are sometimes they do an exception. For example, now, there's a project I'm working on. I'm working on Azure Monitor with SAP Monitor. No, with what I call it, with SAP solution. There is a challenge with it. When it comes to public network access, it doesn't work perfectly well. There is network connectivity issue. So most of the time, you have to put it on public network access for it to communicate. The trusted network that Microsoft recommended, we struggle a lot to get it to make it work. So in such environment, you can just create an exception on your Azure policy. Okay, allow this to connect for the time being before they move to what they call it for like 24 hours before it goes off again. Another feature again is soft delete and port protection. Soft delete, it is to prevent accidental deletion, which happens a lot. Whenever you are creating a keyword, soft delete is enabled by default. You cannot alternate it. So you can set it from 7 days to 90 days. So between that 7 to 90 days, that is where your keywords will still be there. So before, people have the option of disabling it and do whatever they want to do, but because of reports here and there and people are reaching out, creating tickets on it, and Microsoft's okay, going forward, this is what we're going to do. It's going to be enabled by default. For any new keyword you are creating going forward, it will be enabled by default. And we have the port protection, which blocks irreversible destruction. One thing about this port protection is this. Once you enable it and you delete the keywords, it will stay there until that date, the number of days you have set. Even if you reach out to Microsoft that, please, can you, all they call it, can you change this port protection so that I can create that same keyword? Microsoft cannot do anything about it. It must meet that number of days. That's one thing about port protection, but it is not enabled by default. You have a choice to turn it off or enable it. It's your choice. But the implication is once you delete that default, once you delete a keyword, it will probably stay there till that number of days. That's just the issue with it. And this, you won't like it if you are using what they call it, managed HSM, where you are being billed every hour. And that is the most crazy part of it. If you set 90 days, you wait for 90 days. Even if you create ticket to Microsoft, they can't do anything. It is stated in the documentation that once you enable it and you delete the keyword, it will be there. So you'll be charged for that 90 days, and it is being charged hourly. Managed HSM is very expensive. So the cost there is very, very expensive and very, very alarming. And most customers won't like it. So both the soft delete and port protection is just a free as anti-destruction security controls. So the operational guardrails is least privilege role assignment. That is on your keyboards. Ensure you assign least privilege role assignment, rotation ownership, and interval policy. Alerting and incident response integration that comes from your what they call it, from your defender for Azure Key Vault, just to ensure that you are being compliant with what you have. So disabling public network affects some, if it disables public network access, it can affect some Microsoft managed services that need to reach keywords. You know, like I mentioned, and Azure Monitor is a good example that you also mentioned, and Azure Backup also. So you need to find a balance to ensure that, okay, either you go for a private endpoint where they can communicate. The sub-delete is to prevent accidental deletion. That's just it, nothing more, just to prevent it. And in case, because we have seen cases, someone will just delete. He doesn't know the implication. And with self-delete, you can restore it back, but you need to have the right permission to be able to do that, because the system will check whether you have the right permission to restore. So for the Defender for Cloud, what does it do for your environment? Before you enable it, suspicious access pattern are known. malus operation, potential abuse path, cross identity, and resource context. Actionable documentation in Defender for cloud. So what it brings to the table is manage HSM support, certificate auto renewal, query rotation policy, and your CSPM secret scanning. So to able to check, let's check something. So your keywords, like I mentioned, you go through portal.azure.com, not Entra, because why? It's tied to your subscription, and Entra.microsoft.com does not give you for subscription. So this is what we have been saying. This is your keyword. This is keywords. So you click on create. So you give it a name of your choice. I already have it here. Let me use this. So just give it a name. So there are environment that they have a naming convention when it wants to name their resource. So they tie it probably to an application and say, okay, keyword or whatever naming convention they have. Now, one thing about the naming, it is, if the name is being used somewhere else, you cannot use it. Like this app-kv, I don't have it in my environment. I only have two keywords in my environment, this and this. So it simply means that name exists somewhere, so I cannot use it. So I need to look for something. So you can put 01, then KV. KV is keyword, then the region. Then the pricing tier is either use standard or use premium. Now, like I always tell people, nothing is free on Azure. There is standard, there's premium. Premium gives you more features, but you need to consider, and that is why when you are creating a keyword, check with your, or probably if you're working on the project, check what are the prerequisites. Are they going for standard? Are they going for premium? Then the recovery option that we have, you can see the sub-delete is enabled by default. So you can't change it, but the only thing you have power over is the number of days. The number of days. You can put, the list is 7 days. You can do, you can't go more than the list. You must be between 7 and 90 days. That's one thing about it. So if I'm to do this, I'm doing 7 days. Then disable purge option, allow keyword and object to be purged during the retention period. You know, I mentioned it, but if you enable it, it simply means you can't purge anything, and this cannot be disabled. That is disclaimer, but most customers don't see this. Once enabled, this option cannot be disabled. Even with create ticket, they will not answer because it is written and it's being shown that once it is enabled, this option cannot be disabled. So rather you can put it here in case you are not sure and leave it, because if you create it finish, you can enable it back again. Then you click on next. Now, this is what we are talking about. The vote access policy is outdated and this is recommended. So this is recommended that we are supposed to follow. And if you have VM that requires what you call it, keywords, you take it, or your ARM template, or ADE, that is Azure Disk Encryption. All you have to do is to check the button. Then this is all network. That's what we just talked about, the public access. All network simply means is open to the internet. I get it, is open to the internet. But if you are selected network, I'm limiting it. Am I using a virtual network or I want to create an private endpoint? So I can decide to say, okay, all network, probably once I'm done, then create tags. Now, tags is just like to able to, what do you call it? Probably take a stock. If you are getting a higher cost on your resource, you can use tag. And in some environment, they use tag to be able to know which one is production and which one is staging or non-production, so that they can able to identify which is it this some production or does it belong to a part. It can be a department also. Which department owns this particular keywords? I can say marketing. So whoever is trying to do auditing, we know, okay, this keyword belongs to what they call it, marketing department, and it belongs to production environment. So because it helps you identify the critical resources so that you don't just go there and probably delete, or because is redundant and nobody's using it and just decide to delete it anyhow. And this is validating, and this, the keywords is being created. So let's give it like 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, it's still creating. Okay. So you go to your resource and see all the details about your keyword. Now, this is what we call Vault URI. That is this keyword. This is a URI. It's a secure. So if you copy it, it should give you 404. And there's no need of accessing it. But this URI is very, very important. So if you paste it here, it should give you 404 by getting it. So then the SQ, the stock keeping unit is standard. The directory ID, this is the tenant ID, the directory name, the name of the tenant, the self-delete is enabled, port protection is disabled. So in case you want to change it back, you can come here and click here. You only have opportunity to change only the port protection, not anything. You can't change any other thing else again. Any question? So the defender for Key Vault is not enabled by default. Also for cost management, yes. So the Microsoft Defender for Key Vault is not enabled by default. You are meant to go there and enable and turn it on. That is one thing about it. You are meant to go to the you go to your Defender for Cloud. You go to your Defender for Cloud. So let me go to Key Vault. So this is the Key Vault itself that we just created. And you come here, Microsoft Cloud, this. So I've not enabled anything except I'm using Azure policy to manage it. So I will need to go to my Microsoft Defender. Let me check Microsoft Defender for Cloud. To check if I enable it at the subscription level. So click on environment settings. Then this, click this security policy. No. This. Go to Defender plans. So do you have two Defender plans? There is free and there is paid. This is foundational CS, this cloud security posture management, and this Defender for, this is the paid version, this is free version. So I will go here and check my keywords. So if you enable it like this, simply means it has enabled at the subscription level. So you don't need to go to the keywords again and be doing it again. So for every keyword that I've been creating, that I've created, they are being captured. You can see here, 3 keywords full. So it's already enabled on them by default because I've turned this option, I've enabled it. So let's go back. So that is the option there. And okay, that's just for keywords. You can use keywords as authoritative secret key and certificate boundary. Apply firewalls control plus self-delete and port protection. Prefer Azure back with my identity for a workload access. Then the last one is enable Defender for keywords and validate findings in your posture review. Any question?
Please, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The Key Vault, apart from using it to protect our sometimes agentic AI key plugins and certificates and all, is there any other use for the Key Vault?
Well, also your application. I get it. Your application, apart from AI generative, your application itself. So in some application, basically, what keywords is just key and vault. That is the keys to open anything in your environment. You just want to keep it in the vault. You don't want to use the normal way people do things. How I get it. So, for example, I can create an application and create a secret from Entra ID. That is here. I go to an application, I create this Entra ID. And I go to app registration. So I have this app. So I come here and I come to my certificate and secrets. I get in it. I can create a client secret for this application without going through the keyboard, but I don't want to follow the normal process. I want to use keyboard to manage all my secrets. I get in it. And also some keyboards, inside the keyboards, you have your certificate. I get it. Some applications use some certificates, so they are being stored in this keyword itself. So some keys, like API keys, they are being stored in keywords. So what you are trying to do, a vault is a protective storage that is under secured, it's being secured. So what you are trying to do, you want to ensure that all these either secrets or keys or certificates, they are being protected and no unauthorized users access to this information because they are secrets. They are keys, they are certificates. That is, in case any of the attackers or somebody mistakenly expose your environment, if they get this information, they can use those keys or secrets or certificates to do anything. App gateway use certificate. If you want to update from the app gateway, you can do secret. So a certificate. So it's not just, I think there is a lag with your word. What is being displayed, sir? Sorry, can anybody see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
Hello?
we can
Yes,
see your
sir.
screen.
I can see your screen.
Somebody said there is a lag with my words and what's being
I
displayed.
guess it's
Okay,
the person's network.
okay. So in a nutshell, key vaults. A vault is like what you have in a bank. In vaults, they keep so many precious things inside it. So it's assumed like you are keeping your precious information that is being used in your everyday activities, either developer or other team or sales or any other team that's using it. They are being kept somewhere. I can decide to be putting my password inside secrets, the one that I used to log in. Keep it here. You will not know. So they assume don't just look at it like, okay, there's no big deal with keywords. No, there is. I get it because it ensures it keeps some sensitive information that is pertaining to your environment to ensure that you are being compliant. Because if you are not using keywords, I think the next class will be Azure policy. Azure policy will flag you. If you run Azure policy, probably you run the default. How are you getting it? It will flag you that you are not using keywords to keep those information. Because there is a policy that you can do here that, that we can probably audit. Why are you not using this? It will flag you like you are not being compliant. Because by the time you are pushing for all this ISO 27001, ISO 00 something, you'll be flagged because you are not being compliant. I get it.
Lisa,
Any other
someone has
question?
a question for you. Yeah, Ife, please go
Okay.
ahead.
Can't hear anybody.
Neither can I. Ife, we can't hear you. I can see your mic is unmuted, but we can't hear you.
If you cannot talk, you can type. Can you type?
Yeah, please type.
Okay,
All
while we
right,
are waiting
please let's
for.
go ahead. Oh,
Okay.
Ozema's hand is up.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, yeah. What I want to find out is these key votes. Is
Yes,
it
sir.
where one can keep things like password,
Yes.
your username, the token? Is it where they can be kept?
Okay. Now
Yeah.
let's go back to this. Where is the keyboard itself? Where is the keyboard? You know, we mentioned it that in your keywords, if you go to secret, I can store password. This is it. You can
Okay.
click here and say, okay, secret value. You type it there. The information you want to have it there. I getting it. And set activation date. And one thing about it is like you can also configure it in such a way that it should send you an email. For example, a certificate is going to expire. It should send you an email. I getting it. Like I added my email here. So let's assume that this certificate is going to expire. This is a certificate that I created. Now activation, expiration, I will receive an email. I getting it that okay, my certificate is going to be expired. So instead of waiting for the website to go down, I already got a notification that my certificate is going to expire. Again, so you can keep secrets. You can keep anything that is vital, either secret or keys or certificates, based on these three objects. I getting it inside it. And you know, I mentioned certificate authority people. These are the certificate authority people. I don't have. You can see DigiCert and Global Sign. Okay, Global Sign. These are the two authorities. I don't have an account with it. So this one needs to set up by a company where you'll be giving credentials. And once you generate a certificate, you import it with a key. So you need to have an account. So, and that one is being taken care of outside Azure. Please take note. Outside Azure, not within Azure. Oh, okay. Thank you. So one has
Hello,
already answered his question. Yes, sir.
can you hear me now?
Loud and clear, sir.
Okay. I was just going to ask about the other person who spoke to you. They did ask almost the same thing I was going to ask. So the key vote itself is not doing the security. It's keeping the security, the certificate,
Yes.
all those items. You store it there. So
Yep.
more like you are like, for example, an hotel manager. You have like several rooms, but you now keep one room and you keep those keys to all those other rooms in that room. Would that be a right analogy?
No, I will have use a bank that
A
I go to the bank. Yeah, I have a document. I get in it. I don't want it to get exposed to anybody. And I told the bank manager, I would like to keep this in your vault or diamond. You know, it's a vault. I
Okay.
get in it. And if you don't have an account or you don't have the permission, you can't go into it. So it's still part under security control, which will still fall under zero trust. So you're still doing the world of security.
One quick question. You did mention RBAC there earlier.
Yes, sir.
The RBAC, is it, where is the RBAC done here? It's not
Okay.
inside the vault itself.
No, it's done on the, you know, it's a resource. I
Okay.
get in it. Keyboard is a resource. So there's always access control. So for every resource you have in Azure, there's access control for it.
All
So you
right.
do it here. Any other question? Okay. Okay, Ife. If who is number one? Ife is number one. Ife,
No,
you have the
you
floor.
had me there,
If they
sir.
just spoke to you, so I think Kenneth,
Okay.
Kosi, please, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So my question is, inside a key vault, like what is
Yeah.
the maximum number of things that you can store in it? Does it have to be one item, one key vault?
No. No. It depends on what you are working on the object you are working on. If it is key, I get in it. The only thing there is that what you might need to do is, okay, I just created this. Okay, let me just use the opportunity to do our back here. Hold on. So you can start depending on the number of what you want to store there. Well, what you can do is you can do something in case you are not using that particular. This is a key. Let's assume I'm not using that key again. I can just delete it or disable it. That whoever wants to log in and look at this environment, oh, this key is not effective anymore, so I can delete it. I get it. It's not a must that is a long list, because at the end of the day, you might need to do a cleanup. I get it. But normally you have to keep records. Mark 30 days. I get it. Keep record for 30 days. After 30 days, and it's not effective anymore. However, in some environments, you don't just delete. There's what you call change. I get it. Change requests, where you need to raise change requests like, okay, I want to go ahead and clean up these environments since they are not in use. You will explain, you will tell them business justification, the test plan, then we roll a plan back in case there's an issue. I get it. So you can keep it as long as long you want it, but at the same time, it's also ideal to tidy up your environment so that it won't just look like you just have some redundant keys. Because see, for every resource you create, don't forget cost. It might be small, but at the end of the month, you'll be charged. Nothing is free on Azure. So don't just leave it, just clean it up.
Okay, thank you, sir. I have one more question as well. So, so you're saying that we can store, let's say, a token inside a key vault. So what I want to confirm, what I
Token
want to
inside,
understand is,
no.
yeah,
Token inside is what? No. You know what you call token? You are talking about access token that says I authenticate, but I can generate a token, but I
yes.
can't store a token inside the key vault. No, no.
Oh, okay. But you can store a certificate in a key
Yes, I
vault.
can store it. Yes, I can store a certificate. Because we are talking about token now. We are talking about access token, I get in it, and refresh token. Access token is when you
No.
authenticate, I get in it, to an environment. You generate a
Mm,
token, I get in it.
okay, okay.
So it has expiration, it has lifetime. There is 1 hour, I get in it. There is 1 hour. I don't, before, I saw a publication that they're trying to increase to 1 hour 13, but I don't know how to it. But as of now, I know of 1 hour. And the refresh token is, I think, 14 days. It will start refreshing silently. So, no. So, but security token is a physical device. Is a physical device. The security token is a physical device or data used to verify. Yes, I totally agree. That's why I say authentication. So when it comes to token, is I need to validate who are you, username and password. Then the token is generated, and that we call access token. I get it. So that is, it gives you access. Not that it gives you permission, at least it authenticates you to the environment itself. And that is why it is always advisable as an engineer, or even not an engineer, when you sign to an application, forget Azure. When you sign to an application, always sign out. Always sign out. Don't, most of us will just close the browser and leave it like that. But as an attacker, I can just bring up your browser back again and extract that token and go and use it as on behalf of to log into another environment, because that token contains your identity, your first name, your last name, your role, your object ID, every information about that identity that the application is meant to collect. So if I extract it, I can take it to another environment and authenticate, except I have conditional access policy in place to flag it, or identity protection to flag, because it's coming from is unfamiliar environment. So please always sign out. Anything you sign into, sign out from it. Because once you sign out, you kill that token. I get it. By the time you refresh that browser, it will tell you to re-authenticate. You will ask for username and password. Any other question?
So, let's, in terms of best practice, you did mention a few seconds ago that you could give a resource a secret without going through the key votes, which like you manually do it and not use the key vote. Best practice, what do you recommend the resource use?
Without giving the keywords, well, I'm trying to retrace my word. But normally, what I mean by giving a resource, that is, you can assign a resource. Okay, let's do something to answer your question. Okay, let me go back to this lab. I'll answer your question, but I think there's a mixed up somewhere. So let's
Okay.
deploy a lab. I get it. We are going to deploy a lab. I'm going to use an application. I'm going to use my identities. I'm not going to use VM. That is, I will create an application, authenticate to Microsoft Entra ID, then Azure Key Vault, where the secret is being stored. I get it. Then, okay, these are the steps to go about it, and we will generate a token just to ensure that at the end of the day, the secret is being shown because we are using managed identity to authenticate. I get it. So that was like the way you structure the question looks somehow ambiguous, and that's why I'm trying to get a clarification on it. I get it. So to go about this, let me do something. Let me take us a little bit. I created an application because app service. Well, you know, like this when it comes to keywords, it must be a bit technical. I get it because you will work with developer, whether you like it or not. They will work with. If you're aspiring to become a security engineer, you work with developer, you work people that develop so many code and this and that. You can't run away from it. So you need to understand a bit of what they do every day. So for this, I'm using an app service. I created an app service. This is an app service that I've created. You can, okay, because there's a bit of scripting in it. This is an app service that I created. This is how to create an app service. All you have to do is to click on create a web app, pick any of your resource group, give it a name. Are you using code or container? Then the runtime stack. Which of the platform are you familiar with? I'm not a programmer, so I decided to use Node 24. I get the region. So I use the region where my keyboard is to make it much more easier so that it can communicate, which is this. I use East US. And this, you need to have a what do you call it, pricing plan. When you're creating app service, you can't know from that one. You give it a name and you will pick the pricing plan. I get it. Because of what lab that we want to do, I went for premium version 3. I get it. Let me use, I don't want to use, yes, let me use this one. Yeah, since I already have an existing one, then mind you is Linux and there is Windows, depending on which of them are you familiar with. Because if you pick Linux, you need to code it in Linux. If you pick Windows, you will still get Windows environment. But because of what I want to do, and I will need to run some PowerShell commandment so that I can see it, I pick Windows. And this already, I have 2 existing, this, or you create a new one. Then for now, no database. Deployment, you can use CD, continuous deployment. So if I'm using CD, it was already disabled. Don't have permission for this. Yes, I don't have a GitHub account. I can use GitHub to authorize it so that I can deploy it using GitHub. But I'm not using GitHub, not to make it complex. Then this, networking, I left it on public access because I want to access it over the internet. Then monitor, supposed to create application insight. Because for every app service or application that is running, you need to have an application insight. Why? Because it monitors the performance of the application. So in case anything goes wrong, you can go and check your application insight to see what is running on it. Defender for app service already activated at subscription level. We have different scope when it comes to where you can activate some features when it comes to, yeah, depending on, it's not only Microsoft Defender for cloud. You can enforce some restriction at management level, at subscription level, at resource group level, depending on the environment. I get it. But if you enforce some policy at management level, it will trickle down to the resource. If you do it at the subscription level, it will start from subscription. If you do it at resource group level, start from resource group. So that is for the policy. Then tag, like I mentioned, it's just to like You can use for cost management or probably who owns the environment. So then create. Now, the one I created this application, which is Windows. And this is the URL. I didn't customize it, so I didn't make it complex. So if I click on this is what it's showing. But it involves a little scripting. You must know your index, your HTML. I use HTML. I get it. HTML file. Where is it? Here is it. Notepad. So just to the effect that you are seeing on that particular application, this HTML file. I didn't write anything certificated, just HTML file. You can use Copilot or use ChatGPT to write it, just to design it to spice it up a little bit. This and with this, and I came to my settings, deployment, this deployment center, and I selected this, and I click on publish file. I get in it. I'm not using GitHub. You can use GitHub. You can use Azure repos. So all I have to do is click here and browse. So now the file I want to use, I need to zip it. It's a must. You can't just put an ordinary folder. I click on index and upload it. Not signing in. Why do I have to sign in? Upload, yes, index. So this, it will show after this, then you click on save to save it. So what that's index.html that I've written. I will zip it, then upload it, then check the logs. Was it successful? Was it succeeded? And thereabout. So this is it. You can see it is the active one. So you override what I've written. So if I go back to my overview and restart, I don't need to do restart. I can just refresh, but I'm just restarting it. Then click on browse. And this, I have this. This is what I have. And text application is just to show this. This is a function. I get it. A bit of scripting, a little bit to tell you like, oh, your app service is working perfectly well. That's for the app service. Any question? Or you can copy the URL in case you click on the browse and it's not working as expected. All you have to do is go back to the URL, paste it there, and click on enter. Now, oh, this is the one that I only call it the updated. You know, I've changed the index. The previous one that I have was my local system. So this is what it's showing. I didn't color that part. I only colored. Can we have the script? Oh, okay. Yes, I will send it. I'll give you guys. So this is just a simple HTML. So it's different from this one. This one is colorful one. The background, the test application, just give you some swag. I get it. So let's go back. So we want to use, now this is what we want to do. We want to go back to this lab. We want to deploy and secure Azure Key Vault. That's what we want to do. Let's see the experience. We are here currently now. We have created a Key Vault, give it a unique name, reviewed, create. Now, the Key Vault itself is this. So now on your, there's what we call identity. For every resource, you see identity. And here, you need to enable system assign. You can off it. And that's why I say you can have both system assign and user assign at the same time. Excuse me. It will work. I'm getting it. Don't forget, one thing about system assign is tied to life cycle of that Key Vault. Once you delete the web app, you have deleted the system assign. That's the end. So now all I have to do is to put it on and do this. Nothing more. Set that is on. So if you want to off it, click on off. You want to do this. Here the permission. Now based on what we have here, I'm to assign that. Okay, I have this in my account. System assign. Now this is system assign. Now the system assign itself, I want to assign Key Vault secret user. I getting it. This is what I want to do. I jumped this one. I'll come and explain this one, but this is what I want to. I want just to assign it. So this is it. Well, this is in preview. you can either go through the subscription yourself, go and assign. Let's go through the normal process. So you keep here, go to subscription. Let me just, okay, I'll just use on the, okay, I want to use a key vault that is in same region with the app service. Mind you, this app service is in East US. And this key vault is also in East US. So I can come here, access control, and click on add role assignment. Now, I want to assign a role assignment to a system assigned, not to a user. So I'll look for that key vault. Secret user. This is a secret user. Then click next. Then is a managed identity. So now, mind you, is a system assigned. So what will I do? I will need to search for that system assigned or system assigned. This is it. Now, what is the, I'm doing it for web app, don't forget. So I need to look for that web app. I'm using this web app, demo AJ2. So I'll need to click on demo AJ2. Then select. So in some environment, you need to put description, or probably if you're working on a ticket, you put a ticket ID. How are you getting it? Then click next. Then am I adding any condition? Well, is it mandatory to have your key vault and app in the same region? Okay. Here's how it works. When it comes to key vaults and your application, yes. But I think for the app, there's what you call, there's one limitation with app service, but I've forgotten when you want to update it. I think that's for the secret share. When you want to update it, but it's always good to have it in the same region. How you getting it? It's always good to have it in the same region because why? When it comes to connectivity, because if it's in a different region, that is, you need to do cross regions coming from this region to another region. So if they are in the same region, it is always easy access to connect with your particular resources. There are some resources that you cannot deploy using different region. Are you getting it? I have another tenant. If I try to create a resource in another region, it will tell me it's not applicable. Latency may occur in if not in the same. Yes. So that was like easy access when they're in the same region. Seamless connectivity. So it's always good. But I've not tested different region because there are some resources that will be created in different region. Microsoft will tell you that's not the best. It's not recommended. They will bring problem. And also, there's another secret that you need to know. If you deploy a resource in a particular region, if you try another region, the cost will be different. I get it. If you want to deploy a resource, for example, now, if I say, let me just show you one thing. So sometimes a lot of people prefer East US, and the reason is people don't know why they prefer East US. Let's say, for example, I want to deploy a VM. East US is very cheap. That's just a secret. It's very cheap. This. So let's say this is a machine. We're not deploying, but now if I select East US for this, East US, then this, okay, I don't want to use availability zone. This, no. Okay, this does not show. Okay, use this for easy access since it doesn't want to. Pricing calculator, Azure pricing calculator. I get it. It's easier to know, okay, how much am I being charged for this resource that I want to deploy? So let me pick virtual machine. So now if I pick this Azure virtual machine, check the amount, 137.24 cents. I get $137. If I change this region to UAE, it has increased. So when you're deploying a resource, be very careful of the region because there's a cost for each region. That's why I see a lot of people deploy resources to East US because, to be honest, it's cheaper and everybody wants to save costs. That does it. Because once you select any other region, the price will change 181. So why? So many things are involved. I get it. So the closer the region, the lesser the cost. Well, my own is, if you say the closer the region, okay, let me read it again. The closer the region, well, I disagree. I get it with this explanation. The closer the region, the lesser the cost. No. Which one of them is closer to us? UAE is not closer to us. None of them is closer to us. I get it. None of them is closer to us. You can see Denmark is 365. So if I say, okay, let's say go for South Africa. South Africa is closer to us. See the amount they are charging. Fine, there are so many underlying costs to it because a region is the data center. Take it or leave it. So many costs is attributed to it. Power, cooling, manpower, every other thing. But when it comes to East US, I've studied it. Most of the time is cheaper. And that's why, because I was just doing some research. Why are people always creating in East US? I guess that's why I started checking this. So that is that part. So we are not adding any condition. The condition is like you want to reduce the role definition that particular RBAC role has. You want to put some caveat to it. I think it depends on the distance where DC is located, data center. Okay, if you say, see, all your assumption is still boiled down to cost, underlying cost. I get it. That does it. If you are saying that it's closer to because of, okay, if I'm in Africa, selected South Africa, see the cost. But people, we just cover that East US 2, West US, they're a bit cheaper than any other region. Take it or leave it. So let's assign this role to this. Mind you, we selected manage identity. So it will show the name of the app service. So now not that you will not be looking for something else. Just target, okay, the app service. What is, because it's a system assigned, so it will pick the name of the app service, not another name. It's not user assigned, which is standalone. But since it's system, like I mentioned, it is tied to life cycle of that app service, or even if it's a VM, it's a function app, anyone that you are using. So it will bear the same name. Then this. So now we have assigned this. So if you check the role assignment, you can check the manage identity. This is it here. You can see it here. This is it. No restriction. So let's go back to the app service. This is the app service. It's running fine. Okay, is it particular resource you want to use time the cost across? Well, I get there. I will, because here's has more DC that makes the cost a bit lower. I will do this on my VM and confirm. Well, I think, like I mentioned, there are some underlying costs. You can't compare, Azure, I would say Azure started from US before moving to other regions. And Azure has been running for over 25 years. I get it. So they're running for over 25 years. So it can only get better. US has more DC. Yes, I can say so. Yes, I can agree partially. Yes, I get it. They have more data center. Yes, there are so many regions in US. Yes, that is why. Then also power, manpower, cooling units. See, when you have a data center, please, there are so many factors in it. Power, network connectivity, storage, so many things are involved. I guess not just the server itself, the cable, somebody is monitoring it. Even if they automate everything, somebody is still monitoring, is receiving the alert to check the cooling temperature of each of the servers. Because if you see where server generates it, all those blade servers, they generate a lot of it. And that's why you see that it is always chilling. People that have been to that center, it is always chilling. Very, very cold, extreme cold, because they generate a lot of, because they are high-end servers. So that is it. So now we are going, this class is a bit technical. So we do some PowerShell configuration a little bit. So we go to developer development tools, we'll click on advanced tools, then we'll click on go. So it will direct to another page. So where we cannot confirm. So we click on, this is tools to troubleshoot. We click on debug console, PowerShell. Now, this is the real PowerShell. I get it. The reason why I'm using Windows is because I want to run some PowerShell. That is the reason why I'm using Windows. So that is the reason. Nothing. If it's Linux, it will be Linux command that I'll need to run. But what I want to do is just a bit of PowerShell. So I need to generate. Now I need to confirm to start with. I need to confirm the endpoint. So this. Oh, please take note. I'm running it inside of the application because of this is app service application. You know, this is your SSA, the log file. So you can go as far as do so many stuff in it. So now, this is the command. It's not doing anything fantastic. Don't be scared. It's just write, it's an write output. I get in it. Write output is only writing out what is inside it, nothing more. That is write output identity endpoint. This is a variable, $sign EMV is a variable. That is inside this variable, keep this guy identity endpoint inside this. This is to write output identity endpoint. That is the endpoint of the MSI. Mind you, I've activated the system assign and I've assigned a row to it. So the second one is write output identity header is set. Confirm, is it set, yes or no? And that's why you see the next line, write output is set. You can see here is true, header is set. The identity endpoint, this is it, a look back address of the MSI. Because it's a system assigned, don't forget. We are not using that assigned, we are using system assigned. So he's speaking it. If you are not a student, can you sign up freely? No. Sorry. I understand. He said, someone said the class is technical. Hello. Okay. Hello. Are we here?
Hello, sir. We can hear you.
Can hear
Okay,
you.
where are we lost? Somebody said the class is a bit technical. Yes, I mentioned it here. This is it. It's a bit of intermediate level. I get it. It's a technical topic, to be very honest. And that's why we are going deeper. I get it. Even, don't worry, after the call, I will send you a step-by-step lab. A step-by-step lab that you can follow through yourself and get to the endpoint. Yeah. Ozzy Omar.
I mean, what I'm saying, just to make it more simple, make it more simple, like beginner, so that we can be picking it small.
Hey. Okay. What can I do?
Do something.
Okay. In a nutshell, what we are trying to do is this. We are just trying to deploy the step-by-step lab will be greatly appreciated. Yes, I will do that for you. There's a lab for it. But even in the slide, I mentioned the step-by-step. What we first do is to create a key vault. I get in it. Then give it a unique name, region, resource. We just want to test, like, okay, if I want to authenticate, like, okay, we have been hearing about managed identity, and I want to connect. This is what we want to achieve. Connect via managed identity. That's just it. We want to connect via managed identity to show us the secret. I've not created the secret yet. To show us the secret that we will create inside this key vault. We'll create a secret here. So we'll use the managed identity to extract the secret from inside here. But in the real world of it, it is more complex than this, because a developer will write all the code and it will pick here on terminal. You need PowerShell. For the you need PowerShell because it's PowerShell version I have. I don't have the Linux with me because my app service is Windows. Don't forget that it does it. So the developer will need this URL. You see this URL, very, very important to call this key vault, which you will see. We are not doing anything magic. The reason I'm trying to pick it like that, like I don't want you to scatter everything. Because if you follow the steps, the lab itself, you might not even understand it. The lab, Aspire is not a beginner. It's not a beginner and entry. You have to go through. Yes, S500 is not a beginner, to be honest with you. It's for an expert. I won't lie for you. Because all the topics there, they believe that even in the last, I said you must have known 300, SD500, and SD100 is very technical and the certification is very new. It's still very new. So the end, what we want to do, we want to connect using my identity to extract a secret that we will eventually create here, and you see the outputs. That is what we just want to do. And that is where the developers interact with it in the normal today activities when they are doing their work. What they will need this URL, Vault URI, they will need it. It and put whatever information that needs to be appended to that URI and able to generate whatever they want to generate and continue. Because all they want to do is to authenticate and able to continue their work. What we are trying to do is we want to eliminate user interaction. Like we don't want users to be the one logging it, doing it manually because there's room for mistakes. And that's why my identity comes to play. It comes to play because it takes care of that human interaction. Because everything nowadays is now scripting, and that's why you need to learn. See, no matter what, you need to learn PowerShell, whether you like it or not. You need to learn PowerShell. You need to know it. So let's go back. What I've written here is not, you can Google it. It's just, here is write output. Write output identity underscore endpoint. And this endpoint, I store it in this variable. I get it. Just give me details about this endpoint. And also confirm, write output, this is set. $, not minus, then string is non. Somebody said, I don't know. I tried signing with my school email, but it keeps telling me invalid username. They will verify. See, if you are using, if you want to use Azure student subscription, it's not an easy road to follow. They will verify. Targeting, they will verify it. It's a long process. They will reach out to your school. They will get so many information. I think Emmanuel promised that we are working on something that everybody will have a lab. Where you can repo it yourself. But just be patient. But if you want to go through Azure student subscription, is not a straightforward process. They will stress you. A lot of requests have come in and people complain that because they will check everything, they will validate all the information. So that's the implication. So back to this, right? Outputs identity header is set. This and identity header is true. That is, yes, it is set, is true. Then endpoints, this is the endpoint. Since we're using stem assigned, that's why we're having this. So, but we'll stop here. So I can write PowerShell script to renew certificate from DigiSat and GlobalSat. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can automate it. You can probably do research about it. But when it comes to those certificates, all you have to do is you need to have, if you come here, you need to generate. It will ask you, are you importing or you are generating? Then it comes to certificate. Certificate, if I generate, it will be self-service. If I'm importing, it's coming from a third party. I getting it. They will need to give me password and upload the certificate. And once I have it, I will create it and I will match with my environment. So that's one thing about it. So for the certificate part. So let's come back here. So now let's stop here so that we don't directly in the votes. Yeah, good. Because, sorry, I'm just answering some questions because these are the certificate authority. Thank you, sir. But you made my school too on that. Okay, good. So because you need to have an account with them. That's why this process sometimes is not always straightforward. Because if you don't have an account with either DigiSat or GlobalSign, you can't do anything. Except you want to use self-service certificates. I get it. That won't generate like this one. I generated it myself. So it will contain all my DNS information. I getting it for my own environment for the purpose of testing. So let's go back. So now, then we come to secrets. Let's create. We are not importing. By getting it. We're not importing anything. So let's create. Please hold on. Let me just give it a random name. We are generating. The reason we are generating. Okay, sorry. Yes, we are using manual like we are creating it manually. How getting it. So I'll give it a name. This. This for API key. I'm creating an API key here. Then secret value. It can be alphanumeric. How getting it. Let's just say, okay, cloud security $500. I get it. You can see it's already hash or no asterisk. So I need to click here just to be sure. So the content type, I can say, well, optional. Set activation date and expiration in case I want to put time limit to it. Then do I want to enable it? Yes. Any tag. So if you select this option, you are giving the activation, the date you want it to activate, and the date is going to expire. It's your choice. I get in it. So if you are not sure of that, you can leave it out. If you are sure, you can go ahead and put a time and date to it. Then you click here. So you click on create. Now it has been created. You can see the date and time. But because I didn't set expiration date, it didn't show anything. I get in it. As me, I've set it, it will show it. So I can double click it. So this is its key. And this, if I want it to show, I will need to come to show secret value. You can see. So I can copy it. Any question?
So the secret is not hashed.
No, it's not hash, it's asterisk. Sorry, it's asterisk.
It's not using any.
But mind you, it's because I have access. We are taking it one after the other. I can limit ever. I will still touch about networking. For now, I'm just creating it because of you say it's too technical. That I'm taking it one after the other. So it's not hash for now, but you know that you just click on secret and you click here and you will see it like that. No. But mind you also, if you are not familiar with the environment, you just like show secret value. So this. So we have created a secret. How getting it. So let's create a key. Just create a key. So this, we are generating a key. How getting it. So we have key type. We have the RSA and EC. So I'll say RSA is the most recommended and acceptable. Then the key size 204830724096. You can read more about it, but the most common one is 2 VRC. But it now depends on each environment and what they are working on. I get it. The key size is the size of the key, what they are working on. Because there's some environment is unique. So don't generalize every environment that will look like your own. No. I get it. Everybody has rules and regulations guiding their environment, and that is where they want to use it. So let's just say, okay, data encryption. No, the name is too long. Just say data key or SC500 key. Say 500 key. I get it. Then this activation. If you want to activate, you want to have a timeline, you can go for it. But if you don't want to have a timeline, you can leave it. Then you enable it. Then you cannot set key rotation policy. That is, okay, this key, how long do I need to expire? Are you getting like a time frame for it? I can say, is it days? Is it months? Or is it years? I getting it. I can just say, okay, let me go for 1 month, or I do 30 days. But normally, it's only 6 months. In some environments, only some 3 months. Because I can't be changing the key every 30 days. It's not even applicable. And I'll click on enabled. I getting it. Rotation. option, automatically renew at a given lifetime, automatically renew at a given time and after creation. So I've enabled auto, what they call it. Mine, this is rotation. That is now rotation, excuse me. So I can change this date, like, okay, let it be like, I can't do more than 7 days. Let it be like 8 days. So notification option, notify at a given time before expire. I'm doing 30 days. So rotation time should be 8 days. At least that is okay for me to come back and come and check. I get in that, okay, I have 8 days. Within these 8 days, I should come and everything should be fine. If there's not fine, I can easily come and troubleshoot because I still have more days before expiration. I get it. But what I did here is automatic. You can see enable auto rotation. So what I just need to do is to take note. That is rotation time that is 8 days before. The only thing I can come and check, but 30 days is too close. Some people, you might not put mind in it. Then click OK. So it's configured. Maybe that thing can exportable in no, I don't want this option. It's even great at. So because it's not even the one that is import. So I have the key. Now we have created secrets. We have created keys. I getting it. So what we want to do now is to retrieve a secret using managed identity. That's what we want to do now. We want to retrieve a secret. This secret that we have here, we want to retrieve it using managed identity. Then we come back to this place. Because I'm using app service, it's not in most I use app service. I can use VM. I get it. I can use functional. There are so many things that works with what they call it, managed identity. So, but I'm just using app service as a test to see how we can retrieve a secret through the managed identity. So we have run this. We have also assigned a role to the key vault here. So we give this user key vault user secret user. I get it. Where is this managed identity? Managed identity, managed identity. It is demo. Yeah, this is it. So what we did here is like we assign key vault secret user, which is enough. We have different RBAC rules for key vault, different RBAC rules. So since we are trying to follow the zero trust model, the role that we must assign must be enough. That is least privilege role. Mind you, we are talking about X500. There are sometimes in the question they will ask you least privilege role. They will ask you those questions, least privilege role that you will use to able to work on this. I get it because Microsoft doesn't believe like you give some people owner because why? They will mess it up. They will mess it up. So we have different. There's key vault administrator role. There are so many roles when it comes to the key vault. So many roles. So, but assign the minimum role that is applicable to that user to carry out his own work for that moment. So now let's generate a bearer token. Sorry, it is still with CB PowerShell. People that don't understand PowerShell, I'm so sorry. But I will try and explain. You want to generate target, request a bearer token is a script. So this is the script. $sign token endpoint. That is, this $sign token endpoint is a variable. Anything you like this is a variable equals to whatever it is here is in this guy. This here should be stored inside this token endpoint. The identity header that we generated should be stored here. Excuse me. This is a commandlet invoke REST method, the URI. I get in it. The URI of the vault azure.net API this method we are running get header this and this token. Now this is our token. Your token always starts with EY. I get in it. This is the token. So now this is what we call access token. On the bearer token, I get in it. That is The partial token is displayed. It won't show in full. Security concern, but this is where you start from, but it's not full. Normally, if I try to decode it, you can decode it using JWT, but since it's not full, we cannot see the full detail. So you want to decode a token, you come here. Because since it's not full, it won't show much, but it will just show us partially, yes, it is successful, and there's a token for it. I get it. So the next thing we need to do here is now, where's this? So now we need to run this command. I get it. We need to run this command. Excuse me. Now I mentioned the vault URI. This notepad, then this, it will change this. So what we want to do by running this command, we need to display the secret value to see whether it's able to, because successfully we can generate a barrier token. I get it. This is a token, but it only show the partial one. That is where it's going to show because security concern. I get it for this. So it's going to show us this token. Since we have this token, the next thing is to now run it, run this, and see if we are going to get this secret that we have here. This secret, Foundry API. Now this is it. $KV URI equals to the URL, the vault URI. Results invoke is a command. $K, this $sign is secret. We created a name, Foundry-API-key. Then this is API version. Method is to get the information inside this URI. Authorization, use the barrier token that we generated to complete it. Then write out the output. So then enter. Now message. Now what are we having? Error. It said error forbidding message. The user or group application this does not have secret permission. Now this is what we are getting now. It simply means I don't have the right permission. Something is missing. Does not have secret permission on the vault. So what is now missing? So note, I need to now validate, okay, what went wrong? I get it. What went wrong? So I need to check and okay, this is right. Why is it not able to fetch information? Let me check my permission. The user itself that is running the command, let me check it. Do I have, what permission do I have on this key vault? So let me assign where is my role? I have a owner role. Owner role. Owner role is not enough. Owner. Jesus Christ. So let me assign myself a key vault role.
I don't know if it's my network. I can't see your screen, sir.
Please, is anyone else cannot see my screen?
I can see your screen. You are currently trying to assign yourself a role.
Thank you.
It might be your network.
Probably. Yep. So let me assign key vault reader role. But now, you see all these roles that we are trying to assign, sometimes you just read about them. What do they do? How I get it? I will have assigned myself a keyboard administrator role to override so many things. because it performs all data operation on the Key Vault object, including certificate keys, and cannot manage Key Vault resources. Certificate user for certificates, certificate officer, certificate, contributor, only manage Key Vaults, not access to them. Crypto officer, perform any action on the Key Vault except manage permission. Service encryption, crypto user perform this. Since what we are doing here is secret, I should have this. As I've assigned the user, hold on the Key Vault, what did I assign the user to? On the Key Vault, yes, on the Key Vault, the user has withdraw. Yeah, the issue we are having here is the permission issue. What is the demo? This is Foundry user. No, this is subscription. No, this is only the application. So let me assign myself. Since what I want to do is has to do with key, I can do this. You can do Key Vault. No, Key Vault secret user. Let me go for Key Vault secret user. Because he said, now let's look at the error again. He said the application this and this does not have secret get permission, or the secret user, it was assigned crypto application KVA does not have permission on the Key Vault. Oh, on the Key Vault. No, he has now. The app service is this. Where is the app service? The Key Vault secret user. Okay. Code application this and ODI this. Okay. Now let's look at the error itself. Let's break it down. So let's copy this. So let's break it down. App ID and OID. OID is object ID. So we check here. So what we can do is to make it much more faster. Let's go to Entra ID. Who are the owners of those objects? So let's just copy it. F this. Demo, which is the application. I get it. So we have what we call app ID and object ID. They are not always the same. This is the app ID, this is object ID. They are not the same. Now, he said app ID this, object ID this. It's the same application. So if you look at it again, it simply means either the role is not enough, does not have secret get permission. Interesting. This. Okay, let me do something again. On the keyboard, I've done secret. Let me assign, excuse me, secret officer. Let me do that. Keyboard. Secret of performing on the secret accept permission. Secret user read content. Yes, which is supposed to be enough. Okay. Vault keyboard reader. Store secret. Yep. Just please hold on. Just need to validate it. Include it does, but does not include it. So it's this. So cannot retrieve. So include the private. So I've done this. Secret officer. Manage identity. Select members. Then since it's system assigned, let's look for system assigned. If it is user assigned, use user assigned. Or you just click on app service. If you know the name of the application, you can just click on app service. Or probably you start here, then you click here, this. Then next. So let me check the script again. The token, yes, added. So let me check the networking. Allow, okay, for now, I put it on allow public access network. So no restriction, everything should be fine as mentioned. Okay. Okay. So let's run it again. This, and this. Or I can, okay, no, it's still the same thing. Let me run it again. And paste it here. Okay, for the user, the group, or the security application, this, you keep on complaining about this application, doesn't have this. So invoke this, doesn't have the permission. Okay, let me do something. CLS exit. So test connection. But it's complaining about permission. So the only thing I'm trying to understand is, we talk about, or what do you call it, control plane and data plane. So I will need to go back on this. This is fine. I don't have any issue with this user, but this is where I have an issue. Is complaining that okay, let me assign this user. Let me assign myself keyboard administrator on this because I am the administrator, user, the accounts itself, this, and this, and this. No restriction. Review and assign. You might be wondering that I have owner role. Yes, but it might not be enough because this is key vault. So you can only give me access to the control plane, not the data plane. So I will need to check what is happening. So all these are just inherited permission. Key vault administrator. Yep, I have this. This is admin, find the user. Okay. So let's go back again. Let me close it. Start again. Come to the application. This is the web app. Deployment, no, advanced tools. Go. Then come to debug. PowerShell. So excuse me. Let's run the command again. Let me just run the last command. If it is still active. Let me run the last command. Okay, good. Let me run this. It's complement this application that is forbidding. Application is forbidding. Code access deny. By help resolving this, go to this and this access deny. Okay. Is there any restriction? Okay. Manage identity. So the manage identity, let me check something. We have signing logs. So I can check enterprise application and look for this Microsoft. I can, yes, manage identity, apply. Demo. This is demo. Yep. So any restriction, activity, signing logs. Is it success? Interesting. Yes, it will show success. No error. No error. This is application, this is service principal, this is details. Okay. It's telling us something is missing. Okay. Let me check the keyboard. What's the name of the keyboard? What is the access? This is the keyboard. Oh, did anybody see what went wrong? Hello, are we there? Everybody's lost.
Yes.
Yes, boss.
Permission
Change
level
the
from
role.
legacy.
No. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Role
It
based.
was. It's not, yes, thank you. I see. It's always good to troubleshoot and see what went wrong. So let me run the command again and let's see. Here we are. So these are secret value. So we have used the manage identity to fetch information with this. That is why sometimes please troubleshoot. You might, I thought I've already changed this. How I get it? I thought I was already changed it. So that's why I was checking what could have gone wrong. And there is no, and I check, I don't have any policy restricting it. All right, so I was surprised to see this. So we are able to fetch our secrets that we store in this key vault. This is secret. Found API. So this you can see showed value. You can see class security $sign 500. So even the keyboard administrator that I have signed to myself, it wasn't necessary. I getting it. Now another thing again, that will be the last part. Access configuration. I've talked about it. So going forward, Microsoft recommend this. If you are using Vault access policy, it is a different ballgame. This is the way it works. It works differently. It doesn't work the way RBAC works. How are you getting it? Have I disabled? Okay, is that excuse me? Okay, let me change it to. Let me pick another keyword. Access policy works differently. The way it works is write permission. You can. This way it works. So when you want to do access policy, but Microsoft is not encouraging everybody to be doing that anymore. So you need to select a template. Is it key secret certificate? So one thing about this one is that you can pinpoint the kind of permission I want to give. I can say, okay, for the key, only get. For the secret, only recover. Or only list. For certificate, this and that. That is one thing about access policy. But Microsoft is not encouraging it because it's not auditable. How I get it. So, and it's not in line with zero trust. So Microsoft is saying going forward, even there was an email to all customers that everybody should migrate to RBAC because that is the way to go. But most environments are still using this because there are some scenarios like it still work with access policy where you need to raise ticket like if you want to go back to RBAC, it does not work. Then the networking part, let me just explain a little bit. Allow public access for more network simply means that anybody that is open to the network, it is open to the network. That's what it means. The second one, allow public access from specific virtual network and IP addresses. Now, you are now putting some security measures in place. That is, this should only allow specific virtual network, that is your VNet. It can be a new one, it can be an existing one. Why IP address simply means my IP address. And for that, for you to do that, you need to do what they call what's my IP address. Are you getting it? What is my IP address? You need to add it here. You copy this IP address and you go back to this and you click here. You click on add and you add your IP address. If you don't add it, you'll be denied access. That's just it. It will be a public IP. If you are using this IP address, it will be a public IP. This is your internal, your virtual net, your VNet. So, and you click on apply. Then this lapse option simply means you are disabling public access simply means that at this point, you must use private endpoint. You don't have a choice. Which simply means that your device must have a line of sight to your subnet. Because if I do NS lookup for my networking, let me use this. Let me hide my IP address here. So whatever changes you are making, by the time you do NS lookup for your key vaults, I get it. If it is private, it will give you the IP address of private. If it is public, it will be public. So it is very important you know that one. So if you do NS lookup and you paste it here, and probably I have some, but it will only give you 160. I think this is an Azure IP address. This is an Azure IP address. It's not, so probably because of restriction. This IP, look at Azure IP address. No. It looks like an Azure IP address. Let me search the web. It's all they call Azure IP. You can see Azure IP address. So it's going through Azure, so it's blocked. I getting it. So by the time I do this, we should be able to tell me the IP. So for now, I've returned it back to where's my networking. So this is the implication. So if you are using allow public access from a specific, so either you are coming from a virtual network or you had your IP address to it. And if you click on this option, you must use private endpoint. So this simply means that your system or your VM must be on the same subnet or the same network with your virtual, with your what do you call it, with your keyboards. And the last part is Microsoft Defender for Cloud. I'm sure how to enable it. So it will only check the recommendation and tell you. It said your Azure keyboards you should use private link. As you enable this, role-based should be used. I've changed this one. I get it. So now for this one that is talking about, you will need what they call diagnostic settings. I get it. This is what we call this. You click on this, then let me use all metrics. I get it. Let me give it a name. So this is what they call diagnostic settings. That is for every interactive request that is going on with your keyboard, there should be a log. I get it. There should be a log for it. And how do I do that? I need to enable this feature. That's just it. I need to enable this feature for it. You can do this. You can do all of them. You can do all logs. But please take note. It comes an extra charges. I get it. If you are doing all logs, there's a cost. If you are doing audit alone, the cost is minimal. So if you are doing both of them, remember that your cost is very high. If you are doing all metrics, just the metrics, what is going on your keyboards, that you want to see authentication part. So just understand, don't just be clicking everything. Click, 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 click. Your cost is going to come for you. By the time they send you your bill, you will see everything. So then give it a name. Key Vault Mary. Then I can either send it to Log Analytics Workspace. I'll prefer Log Analytics Workspace. It is called LAW Law. I get it because you can run query language. That is custom query language to query many things. But if you send it to here, you're only archiving it to storage accounts, which is on structure. If you run it to stream to Event Hub, might do a little of technical stuff because probably you want to be streaming it or to a partner solution. I don't have a partner. And what I want to achieve is this. I want to send it the logs here. So once you enable it, it takes 15 minutes. It doesn't work instantly. At least wait to 15 minutes. And then sometimes it takes 30 minutes. So Microsoft recommend that immediately you enable it. It doesn't mean that it will start working immediately. You must wait for 15 minutes. Then you now need to reproduce the step again for you to get those logs. I get it. For you to get those logs. So then you'll be fine. This, and you click on save. So that's you monitoring the logs, every activity that is happening. So you must wait for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, you can now retry and logs will now be dropping. this, and this is log IT workspace. All you have to do is click here, logs and IT workspace, look for it. I'm using default, click here. So when the logs start popping up, which is after 15 minutes, I can come here. If you are new to it, I can come here, I will start running my command. But like I said, you must wait for 15 minutes. Let me stop here. Any question? Can it be sent to external or IDR as a log source? Yes, yes, but I've not tested it. It should. I get it because
I
I
did not
use
see
log
lighter
analytics
on
workspace.
Office.
So
Thank
I
you.
use log analytics workspace. So
When
for the third party, I've not tried. I get it because I don't have a
You
partner.
know, say
But since there is
LGW, they
Sentinel,
get meeting now.
since there is
No, no
Sentinel,
one,
why
no one.
going to, well, you know, some people prefer Splunk to export it there to be able to filter what is happening it. Yes, you should be able to. You can integrate. Sorry, somebody muted me. Hello.
Can hear you.
I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I was
Can hear
explaining
you.
this third part. This is a third party. I getting it. So for the partner solution, can it be sent to external? If the third party, the partner, have it, sure, you can. But we have everything in Azure. Find some customers still don't believe everything should be handled and managed by Azure. That's the fact. That's the fact. I get it. You can use Sentinel. There is Sentinel to cover that part. All you have to do is enable the connector. So that does it. Okay, step by step lag. Okay, let me give it to you. It's very long, but I just shorten it. I'll drop it here now. I get it. That's the lab. It will take you an hour, 1 hour or 1 hour plus. But there are some things that some steps they omitted. That's why I tried to break it down for you. The app service of a thing, they didn't do justice to it. They didn't explain it. So that's why I said, okay, let me just create an app service. Somebody asked for the script. For the script that I use for the app service. I think I have the, please hold on. I think, do I have the, okay, the index. Let me do that. Please, any question? I understand it's more technical. Yes, it's more technical. Take it or leave it. I won't lie for you. If you go further with Azure Key Vault, we can be here and be troubleshooting and nothing is, you'll be sweating. That sometimes we involve networking team to join us on a call to troubleshoot like this thing is not working. So please go ahead.
Ozima, please go
Hello.
ahead.
Yeah, just a reminder, please. He told us that he will be leaving the step-by-step. How do I put it?
Guide.
The
The step-by-step
step-by-step
guide.
guide of this,
Yeah.
so that we can go through it.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Amang, okay. I think I dropped it on this Teams chat. Can you see it? The reason I said so, like they skip some steps, like the app service part. They expect you to know it. I getting it. And the networking part also, they expect you to know a bit of networking. You know, in the slide I mentioned it, you must have an idea of the networking alone, excuse me, the networking part, you must have an idea of it. The way, in case you want to use, what do you call it? You want to use this. You don't want to use, let me go back. Where is the keyboard? So, sorry, I've taken 12 minutes of your time. Apologies. It's just that keywords is a lot. I get it. So in case you're not using public network access, you must understand this part. Public access from a specific virtual network, that is VNet, or IP addresses. Either you're using the IP of your system. And if you are using this part, this is another topic on its own. you need to use private endpoint. You call it PE. So you need to understand what PE does it mean, because you need a DNS, you need an IP address, so and so many features inside it. It's not straightforward like that, but you need to create it. I just want to stop with, most of the time, for the purpose of troubleshooting, when we are troubleshooting the customer, we put it here so that we can tell the customer to add his IP address here. I get it. And even let us even first establish communication. Can you access it? Is it working? Okay. Once we establish that, we cannot take it further and check the private endpoint. The private endpoint needs to show approved, connected. Then you now start doing your ping. So it's not straightforward like that, the way you see it. Will I need a lab for practice so that dreams don't die? Yes, you will need a lab. Reason is Azure itself, Azure keeps updating the environment every day. I get it. So if you leave Azure today and you say you are coming back next week to come and check, so many features might have changed. I get it. Like the era I was talking about, access policy, we use access policy a lot, but now Microsoft said no more access policy. Even they are telling customers to migrate. So many things are changing in Azure. So the only thing I always tell people, ensure at least in a day, even if you cannot log in a day, at least either weekly, log into Azure environment, just see what is happening. So many changes in Azure nowadays. So if you don't log in, you won't know what is happening or not. And Azure does something. There's what they call announcements and updates. They tell us features that they release every month. So if they are releasing some features every month and you are not being updated, by the time you log into Azure, you might look stupid in front of your customer. That's just the reality. So that's just it. So please, if you have the environment, play around with it. Try the lab. The lab is very long. I just shorten it, pick the critical parts and explain some parts for you. It's not a must to use app service. You can use virtual machine. You can use function app. You can use logic app just to test and see how you can connect and able to have a better understanding of it. Any other question? Everybody is quiet.
Thank you, sir. I think Baba Femi. Yeah,
Baba Femi, have I answered your question?
No. Thank you very much. You've actually answered a part of it. So I have two questions, and
okay, go ahead, sir.
One is for this class, and the other one is for the last class. Yeah, I think towards the end of the last class, you gave us some insight on conditional access policies and PIM.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So about this class, is more like a back-end questions, just on the light hand. This key and certificate stored in the secret vault, I want to ask, how important is it to especially for developers? The reason why I'm asking is because going through all this process and all, I want to ask, is it how do developers or users, let me use the word users now, how do they have access to these secret keys whenever they want to use it? Are they to raise a ticket to request for the keys, or will there be provision for an API for them to have access to it, or by default, once RBAC is being configured, they will have direct access to it? And so in order for you to understand my question, as a developer, I believe instead of going through all this process, I believe they can easily protect it by encrypting it with HS256 hash key, and which of course for obvious reasons is not penetrable and not breakable. So that is why I'm asking that question. So if or as a security personnel or as an engineer, you have to go through all this process, and we know that there is a simpler way of, even though it's not that simple, but there's a simpler way of going through it or addressing it. So that's my question for that. Maybe you answer this before I go back to the last class.
Okay, now let me answer it. You have an application, you're a developer. You want to bring it to another environment. And there are laws or rules that govern that environment. You must be compliant, whether you like it or not. Except you want to go and host your application somewhere, not on Azure. That's the shortest answer I'll give to you. But from your role, developer is a different role, or DevOps engineer is a different role. Security engineer is a different role. The reason why I went this far is if you're working on a project, you meet all these people, or you are supporting a client, all these questions will pop up. Now I'm sharing my screen. There's what we call Azure policy. I get it. That your environment, that is the baseline policy that your environment must meet up with, whether you like it or not. So your application must be compliant with stakeholders' rules, except you don't want to host that application on Azure. Even forget keywords. I get, let's say you are a partner and you want to bring your application or anything, any stuff to Azure. There's what they call marketplace, and there are rules and regulation that governs that environment. So since you want to host it on our platform, these are our rules and regulation. Are you ready to meet it? Yes or no? Are you getting it? And if you're not ready to meet it, Azure will not answer you. That's the way it works. That's the reality of life. So if you're ready to meet it, then you must follow some terms and conditions that governs that platform. You see what you said? Every developer, they have it as a mindset. I getting it. By the time they now run what they call baseline policy, Azure policy, I getting it. For example, now there is a popular one. Is it cloud? Let me check what they run. It will scan through. Do I have it here? There's a default one that you can run. That it will scan through your environment. That your environment, is it compliant or not? And you are pushing for all this, for example, HIPAA or ISO, all those stuff like that, and you want to be compliant with them, and they are doing auditing your environment, you'll be flagged. You'll be flagged. I've experienced PwC doing an auditing for oil and gas company. It wasn't funny. They check everything, even the password they are using. You know, group policy state that you need to have 17 characters, but these people are using 12 characters. They were being flagged. They said no, they will not accredit them. So to go as far as that little thing that the group policy mentioned, you must use 17, it must be this, the user must be this, must have this, must belong to this group. And that's why we are preaching zero trust. We are preaching zero trust. What's not the objective of zero trust? Are you getting it? What's not the objective of the zero trust? That you can do anyhow on the platform. Mind you, as you are looking at, okay, is my environment, I can do anything. Somebody is also looking, find a loophole in your environment. Are you getting it? It's an application, mind you. DDoS will come in. Are you getting it? DDoS is coming to your environment. If that application should go down, it will affect your income. Then what do you need to do? You need to add in the security feature. You need to purchase some things on the platform to make that particular environment secure. And Microsoft is telling you that, you know, we went back to this slide. Let me show you this slide that we went back to. This. No. Now, this is the pattern that most of the developers follow. This is a pattern. They put everything inside our source code. The secret, the API keys, the credentials, everything is being not. So now, if anything should go wrong with this application, who's going to be responsible? Is it the company or the developer? So look at it from that angle. So you can't just say, because you're a developer, you can run it any way you like. No, it is not accepted, except you are not bothered. Like my own now, the system is already flagging me. Okay, now this is my keyword. It already flagged me that I'm not being compliant. If I go to this, I go to Microsoft Defender for Cloud because I want this to defend my environment. You will tell me that it's telling me I'm not using private endpoints. Group is not, I just changed it. You need to run firewall should be enabled on keyboards. So it's already telling me, so I need to be compliant. Why? To avoid story that touches the heart. So that's where I'm going to answer it for you. And those developers, they need to authenticate. I get it. And don't forget something, those applications, you want user to interact with it. Do you think every user is legitimate? And you know, I mentioned DDoS. Do you think every user is what they call legitimate? Sometimes they use bots and bombard and flood your application with so many traffic. That's why I see some application, they will just crash. Or they'll be laughing on some application web page. Some people will be laughing and be playing game. You think it's normal? It's not normal now. So what Microsoft is telling you, how to protect your environment so that it's not be compromised. See, let me tell you one thing. There's an environment that they will come through application and they will enter your environment and they will make deals out of your environment. What are you going to say? Because if there's a loophole, they will capitalize on it and they will start spreading their tentacles. Where else can we go? Which port is it available? Okay, why the Microsoft said 3.3.3.3.8.9 is not recommended? Because it's a popular RDP. I get it. It's a popular RDP. Thank you. Say trust no one. So that's why. So the objective of zero trust is don't trust anyone when it comes to Azure. I get it. I've seen a way they clone an account and they forge use the MD, what they call it, details, and they know the format they use to collect money. So just so the MD. So once there's a format, the MD, once MD sees that format, it will just say approve, pay. And they enter the environment and they follow that trend, and they I think they got away with $10,000. So that you are a developer. See what you just mentioned is a typical developer mindset. Take it or leave it. We argue, we disagree. Your own part as a security personnel is to ensure that they have the least minimum privilege. They are following the recommendation that governs your environment. If they are not compliant, and that's our Azure policy, if they are not compliant, you have to flag them. For example, now I'm putting my Key Vault public network access for all network. It simply means it's open to the internet. So if you have a vital information in this Key Vault, it's open to the internet, and if you're very smart, you log in and get away with it. The only thing that can stop you is probably the RBAC. That's just it. So that's why I'm going to answer your question. That you own it doesn't mean that you should lose it. So that's just it.
Thank you very
much. Developers cut corners. See, they cut corners. That it is in their DNA. You can't take it away from them. They cut corners. Something that will make their life better. So that's just it.
Thank you, sir. So on the conditional access, last week you told us that for best practice is for MFA, so it's better to configure it in a way that it will request for more than a layer, like double layer authentication, like MFA and also SMS and password, SMS password and all, in order for us to create like another chance for us to regain our or to gain access to our environment, especially when we probably lose our phone on that. So I try to set on I have a test tenant that I'm using presently. So I try to set that on my tenant, but I couldn't find a way around it. So my question is, does MFA option come with both the authenticator and the password by default? I mean, is it activated by default on Entra ID when creating the policy, or do I have to? Because I could not see. I searched, I checked around the old page. I could not find anywhere where I can activate the SMS and password.
Okay, I'll explain it. There are three things when it comes to what you just mentioned. You know, you asked, does it come by default, conditional access? Now, you see the security defaults. For every new tenant you create, let's say you create a tenant now, this guy is enabled by default. I get it. By default, it has been enabled on any newly created tenant. However, you can go there and say, you know what, I don't want you anymore. It is a choice. I get it. This is the guy. You can say, no, I don't want you. I have better option. I can disable it or enable it. So by default, any newly created tenant you create today, this guy is enabled by default. So if you now have a better option, you can say, okay, you know what? I will disable you. Now, and this guy will only give you the option of authenticator app alone, and it will enforce it on all the users, no matter what. It will enforce it until you disable it. That is option number one. Option number two, there's what we call per user MFA. I get it. You know, does it come this? Per user MFA is also free, but not all the features are free. I get it. This is per user MFA. So, what is that option? So it gives, okay, now they have removed this option. He has 4 options before. Excuse me. He has 4 options. Phone, SMS, authenticator app, but Microsoft is moving it, highlighting it to going forward. Even SSPR, everybody is being moved to authentication method. Highlighting it. But one thing about this one that people don't know is like if you enable this per user MFA at every instance you want to log into Azure portal, you are prompted for MFA. It does not care. That is per user MFA. That is the old MFA. Even Microsoft is preaching that people should move away from it and be using conditional access. That is number 2. The third one, now this one does not fully require license. It is free. But the features inside it, like verification option, this option, it. Before it was 4. So one is free, the other are not free until you have a license. But right now, you can see they have moved everything to authentication method, which is this guy, which you can see in Entra ID. So the last option, which is conditional access, it is not free. You must have a license, minimum of P1 license, before you can make use of this guy. Minimum of P1 license. This one is free and is enabled by default. I get it, enabled by default. Same thing, this is also free, but you'll be the one to go and enable it yourself. And enforce it. So you're gonna be the one to either enable it or enforce it. It is your choice. So both of them here are free. But this, you have the option to go to the tenant and say, okay, enforce it on this person, on this person. But security defaults, you don't have the option. It is enforced by default. Microsoft don't want to know. But you can go there and say, you know what, disable it. But conditional access, you must have a license before you can use it. So now, the MFA option that you want to use now determine, it depends on you. Excuse me. It depends on you. Which option do you want to go for? Now, going forward, Microsoft said security question will not be used anymore. Latest by March 2027. They want to remove this. Highlighting it by 2027. No more security questions. So this option they are taking it out. Now we are left with authenticator app. Highlighting it. Authenticator app. Why is this showing? Okay, we are left with authenticator app, SMS, email, phone call, and software token or OAuth token. It can be an hardware. Now, even right now, they're even pushing for passkey. No more, excuse me, they're pushing for passkey. So now your question, back to your question. So conditional access here is not free. It requires license. Security default is free, and you only have one option, which is on the authenticator app. It is enforced. Everybody must enable. You don't have a choice except you disable it. By user MFA, it is free. I get it. You can now suggest that, okay, I want to use SMS, I want to use phone call. I think phone call is one that requires license then, before now they change it, because once you want to enable it, it is phone call that require this. You can see. So you can say enabled and this, so on and so forth. So it is, so what I can say to your question is, security default is free and authenticator app must be used. But this per user is free, but you have a choice. Conditional access is not free until you enable it and you now make your choice. Now, that one now depends on what you have enabled in SSPR. There's what we call SSPR and MFA. I get whatever option you have enabled here. I get that is under password. So, which is on the educator method again, because Microsoft also is facing out some things because of, let me say, security in concern. I get it. So if you come to the education method, you can see. So they now push everybody that, okay, which one do you want to enable? SMS, voice call, now making it much more flexible that you should go by this. I get it. So you have the option to come and configure it in this page. So that does it. Have I answered your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
That does it. Any other question? Well, today's class is a bit technical, I understand, but as a security engineer, and this course in question, it is intermediate. It's not for beginner, to be very honest. You can see. So you still need to read, learn, unlearn, and relearn. Let me use that word. I get to learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's the way I'm going to put it. But as a security personnel, your job here is, it does not go. The only thing is to confirm what you are checking with those users. You check the RBAC. I get it. The RBAC, just PIM, then the once you check the RBAC, we talk about the permission, then the networking part. You can collaborate with the networking people. Then as a security engineer, you check this part also. I get it. Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Then diagnostic settings in case of auditing what is happening on it. I get it. That is it. You see, the application part, leave it for developer. It doesn't concern you. The only thing they might tell you to do is send us the Vault URI in case they don't have access. That's what I mentioned RBAC. They will tell you send us this URI. I get it. Then they will now, if you want to use key, they will slash it with the name of the key, like what we just did, or the secret they want to use it. So they will include it or embedded it in their code. And at that point, it's none of your business. Except you want to learn or you are being curious to know more. They will not force you. I get it. They won't force you. Except you want to know more. Okay, let me see how you are running the code. What language are you doing? But once you are going deep dive, expect more troubleshooting. So let me stop here. Any other question? Wow. I have 60 audience and people still wait to 2 hours 35 minutes. Please, thank you so much. I'm not understanding, Gary. Somebody says not understanding anything. You did justice, but I needed to speed up. Jesus Christ.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. We really appreciate your time.
Okay.
I think anyone who says they still cannot understand, I would advise that you watch the video again. That will probably help you to understand better. Okay,
you can drop. I'm also on the WhatsApp group. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm also on the WhatsApp group.
Mm-hmm.
You can drop me and tag my name. I'll respond to it. I get it. If any challenge, but if you follow that guide, I get it. It will take you an hour plus, but take your time. I get it. Follow it step by step. Then you get there.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Please, moving on. Do we have any more questions for him, or like Mr. Ozioma, please? We're already 36 minutes outside our schedule.
Yes, I'm really interested in and I thank him so much, though a little bit technical, just as he said, but I just was able to grab one or two things, more especially what the key votes and things that are inside it means. So I've catched that one. I really caught it. So that one is in my pocket. But I would beg him to please give us materials. If he can post us the materials so that we can read more. And the lab he will send, the step-by-step guide, would also help us assimilate more when we are going through that step-by-step guide.
Okay, you can go through the Microsoft Learn. I get it. I think it was share. If you check the Teams chat, the WhatsApp group, it was share. I get it. And it was shared. I get it. And also the GitHub for the practical is also there. I mean, I need to get back to the foundation. Yes. So the only thing I can do next is, but if you have any question, I'm probably okay. I can share the material that I use so that you can go through it. I get it. But it's just like it's an intermediate. It's technical. I won't lie for you. Even from Microsoft end, there are prerequisites. Like I said, the person that what you call it that we want to train must have what you call understudied this environment. You can see I mentioned it that you must have be familiar with Entra ID, portal navigation, Microsoft security tools, RBAC, security fundamentals, and basic cloud networking. So if you see correct keywords, you will not live here. You will not live here. Sometimes we involve the people that own the product. They should come and help us because we are lost. I get it. So that
Can
just
you
it.
share the slide with us?
I will seek the permission of my Oga, Mr. Emmanuel. I will seek his permission that I can share with you guys.
Okay, that's fine.
So you can actually share with them on the WhatsApp group. You can share with them.
Okay.
Well, another thing that is important is the Microsoft Learn also. They should go through that as well because basically the slide is from the Microsoft Learn material. So you receive the slide. So I'm trying to, sorry, Susan, for taking you. I'm trying to answer some questions on the chat as I actually joined this session. I just finished a different session, a different community now. So I can see Ikichiko was talking about the practice environment. So I wanted to actually talk about that. So at the moment, we've not gained access to the lab environment from our partner that promised us. The last update we got is that their legal team advised us we need to sign some MOU. We've been waiting for them to send the MOU for us to review and sign so that they can grant us access. So as soon as that is done, we are hoping that this week they will send it to next week rather. They will send it to us so that we can review the MOU and sign. So once that is signed, then accounts should be provisioned for with the mentors, and we'll be able to provision accounts for everyone of you. Yeah, so that's what we're waiting for. So that is pending on the partner. So waiting for the MOU to sign. Yeah. Then other question, I think. So that's like the only questions. So like since I advise us, go back to watch the recording. Sometimes the first time you're watching the video might not make sense to you. You have to repetition is powerful. So go back again, watch the recording. Even my class, I do this a lot. My class, as soon as it was uploaded on the YouTube channel, even though I was the one that taught the class, I still went through the video again. It's a good practice so that you remember the things that you taught or the things that has been taught. So basically go back, watch the video. Maybe when your head is calm tomorrow, you can just watch the video again and from there you will understand it better. So like our guy mentioned, this is not a fundamental class, and I mentioned it, and I was actually worried because when we got the feedback of people that filled the form, we saw like 40 to 45% of people that registered for this bootcamp are actually beginners. So we're worried. I had to ask in the group, what can we do? Because we're getting a lot of beginners registered for this bootcamp, and this is an intermediate course. It's a new, fresh exams from Microsoft, still currently in beta. It has not even gone live yet. It should be live by next month. So going through like what EGK said, it's 900. Having the fundamental of Azure is a 900, right? It's very, very helpful. So if you're part of those beginners, just on the group, just put your beginner. We can look for resources, videos that you can watch, that will help you so that it will make the bootcamp make more sense to you. So I don't know if there are other questions. Susan, I'm handing the mic back to you. Thank you. You're talking on mute.
We can hear you. You're talking on mute.
I'm so sorry. Thank you for bringing that to my notice. Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you so much, Mr. Ajala, for almost 3 hours of your time. Thank you for a very, very impactful session. For the mentees, please.
We still have it by next week. It's coming next week and up week again.
Yes. Thank you so much for dedicating your time to giving back to the community. We really appreciate that. Um, So I've dropped the attendance link on the group a couple of times. I just wanted to bring it to everyone's notice in case you missed it. Please fill the attendance. You never can tell. We might give out gifts to those who attend a good number of the classes or attend throughout. Free vouchers. So do not ignore the attendance. Please fill the attendance so that we are sure that you join the session today. And then lastly, before we go, we just want to get feedback from last week's session. So I'm sharing a link to a poll. Please click on that link. Let's do something, a very, very quick activity. This should take us about 5 minutes, and then we should be out of here before 7, right? Yeah, we should be out of here before 7. Okay, please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, no, that's the wrong screen. Okay, but I see that people have joined already and they are putting in their details or they are dropping their feedback. Thank you. Please continue to do that. Can you see now? Yeah, so did the session meet your expectation? The objective for last week's session was to be around identity access, identity and access management, conditional access, managing identity in using Entra ID. So the session that we had last week, did it actually meet the learning objective for that module that we took? Let's move on. No one has filled giving feedback for the third question. Okay. So yeah, you are very confident that when you get access to your lab environment, you'll be able to spin up conditional access management for users. You'll be able to set up user accounts in Entra ID. Okay. So if you still need clarity, as I've said earlier on, I would advise that you watch the video again. And I think the Microsoft Learn documentation for that module was also shared on the group. You can check that out also. Thank you so much for this feedback. And then lastly, how can we improve these sessions? Please drop your feedback. What do you want us to increase the time? Do you want more practicals and less theory? Do you want more theory and less practical? Let us know what you want. More time and examples, okay? More practical. Very soon, we're working on the lab access, so that should happen very soon. We actually have practice assignments that we give out. Only a handful of you guys did the practice assignment for last week. So please, when it drops this week, do your research and do the practice assignment. So everyone who wants more practice. Yeah, that's amazing feedback. So thank you guys so much. Let's see if 34 of us is going to respond to this and then we'll wrap up this session. So pretty much I think everyone wants us to practice more, do more practice. But the truth is that we cannot go full on practical if we haven't covered ground with the theory and the basics. And just as Mr. Ajala and Mr. Emmanuel have mentioned, although this is not an entry level certification, our mentors are trying their very best to what's the word now? Introduce this in in as much granular form as possible. So break it down as much as they can so that you understand. My advice to you this week would be, while you are watching the video, if you hear something that you do not understand or is new to you, do a quick Google search or a quick YouTube search, and then you get more clarity or more information about that. So thank you all for engaging in this feedback or this survey. Thank you so much. Baba Femi, you have your hand up.
Yes, please, before we round up, I just need some clarification about the mode at which we submit our assignments on GitHub. Sometimes I don't know if we are meant to, of course, I'm not new to GitHub, but it is a bit confusing. When, for example, when I submitted my assignment, the second assignment, I realized it's still referring me to, like, I submitted to the pre-bootcamp repo. So I don't know if it's meant to be different file or folder we are submitting to, or just the same since it's on our own main branch.
Okay, please can Oyimafu or Mr. Emmanuel help us with that question?
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah. Once again, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us today in this section. Yeah. So basically, in the GitHub repo, we have different folders for all the classes. Like the first class, the onboarding section, it has its own folder. Entra ID, the one that we had last week, had its own section, and Key Vault also has its own section. So what is expected of every mentee is, after every section like this, just like our amazing mentor has taken us today, he did a lot of labs. So we can actually go through the video, watch if the link has been provided. So you go through the link, get your findings, then you upload it to this week folders, which is Key Vault. So you are not expected to upload everything to the onboarding class. So that is why if you check the GitHub under the classes, we have all the classes there lined up. So that is what you should do. So once you do that, you won't have that issue with maybe like sync issue or something. Yeah, you can go ahead. Did I answer your question?
Is that fine?
Yes, you answered it, but partially, because I actually uploaded my assignment on the Entra ID folder. But after it will tell you that this repo is one commit ahead of the. So it's more.
If you upload it, we have to review it. That's why we were actually telling everyone to submit the assignment on time. So we have to review the assignment. Then after reviewing the assignment, then we'll now merge it. So you have to give us some time so that we can review it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Oyimafu. Any more questions? Are we clear? Okay, so as usual, tasks for the week will be dropped on the group. Please be on the lookout for them when they are dropped. Try to do the tasks in good time. And then thank you so much for your time today. As much as you are here to gain knowledge, we do not take it for granted that you decided to spend almost 3 hours of your time here today. Thank you so much. Have an amazing weekend. No, before we go, Mr. Emmanuel, Oyimafu, do you have anything to say before I round off?
Yeah. So I just want to appreciate our mentor, Oluwatosin Ajala. Like, he did a very amazing task, and even me, I learned a lot, and I'm sure that the entire team learned. Like, I've learned a lot. So appreciation, and I also appreciate everyone. That's all from my end.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Emmanuel, are you still with us? Okay, I'm guessing it's no longer with us. So yeah, thank you everyone. Have an amazing weekend and see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.